My name is Ralph White. I'm an alcoholic. Glenn, what time do I stop?
You can go until straight up 1 o'clock here.
All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
10 o'clock here.
Thank you. So my name is Ralph White. I'm an alcoholic, and I know we got people here from all over the world, so we say it different ways. Some people call it anniversary, some people call it birthday, the rest of that. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in LA. We call them birthdays. So Dolly, happy birthday to you, dear Glenn. Happy birthday to you. Um, but more importantly, I got you two out the way. You guys have been putting days together for a long time. I want to welcome you, Andrew. You know, we're smiling and we're clapping and we're laughing and we've got these milestones. And I know you probably sitting there because there are a couple of categories of newcomers. We have the new newcomer, and we're shiny and we're new. And, folk like us, we like new and shiny stuff, right? And, but if you're built like I am, pretty soon the shine wears off. I got a brand new car. It's got the new car smell. Give me about a month and now it's just a car note. You know what I mean? It's a car note. I'm not uh enamored of it like I was before. Same with a new girlfriend. Ooh, I'll
Hi.
do anything. I'll do anything and let me get my
Hi.
shoes comfortable. And same thing. And so
My name is Alcoholic Stephanie.
yeah. Okay, you guys got her. And the same thing can tend to happen in Alcoholics Anonymous. So we got the new newcomer, and then we get the used newcomer. And the used newcomer, when they're coming back, doesn't have the same zeal and the same enthusiasm as the brand new person. How do I know? Because that's been me. And the used newcomer comes back, you welcome them to the meeting. I mean, like, don't be welcoming me. I was here when you got here. You know what I mean? The readings are not new. They know the warts that are on. They know that people sleep with other people. They see, and if that's the way I am. And so it's especially challenging. How do I find the propulsion when
You got muted, Ralph. How do I find the compulsion?
I got it? And in my own mind, I've tried it. Now, that doesn't mean everybody else, outsiders, would look at it and say, no, Ralph, you were coming late to the meetings, you were leaving early, you weren't taking anybody's phone number. But in my own mind, I've tried it. So where do I get the enthusiasm? And where do I summon up? And how to come out? What would make me think this is going to work for me this time? And Andrew, what I have to say to you this morning, because you said you had 2 heart attacks, on your last legs. I cannot guarantee you if you come in here and sign on the dotted line for Alcoholics Anonymous, I can't guarantee you you're going to have a hell of a marriage. I can't guarantee you you'll be welcome back in the house. I can't guarantee you you're going to get a great job. Cannot guarantee you you're going to have a hell of a career. Cannot guarantee you how much money you're going to have in your bank account. Cannot tell you you're going to drive a great car, you know. But me and you can both guarantee you what's going to happen if you don't give us a try. And I took a chance on Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'm going to talk about what has happened for me, to me, through me as a result of giving you guys a chance 38 years ago. Um, I started drinking when I was 18 years old in the year 1971. And I went at it hard uh, with everything I had, you know, um, for about 15 years. And I'm a everything I got guy anyway. And I don't do half step and I don't do sipping. I used to say anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And so I was going hard in my drinking and my using it. And so when I came here, I was on my last legs. 33 years old. Uh, had a no longer had a marriage. I had got served with divorce papers when I was in treatment the first time. And when I had first gone into recovery, I wanted two things. I wanted to get my ex-wife back, you know, and I wanted to be back, I wanted to get my ex-wife back, and I wanted to get back into the workplace. I thought those two things, if I could just get back to work, and if I could get my ex-wife back, things would be all right. And those were my two things in 1985 when I first came. And I came out and I stayed sober uh, 89 days. And I had my own treatment program, you guys. I was in the care unit, which was a 28-day program. And I had gone in there in August of 1985. And when you're in a 28-day program, you're an old timer when you're in there 2 weeks and you welcoming the new people in there, right? And so I was president of the residents council, and thinking, they take us to meetings every morning. And so I thought, when I get out, I'm going to go to the same meeting they took us to every morning at the log cabin, which was way across town from where I lived. And here's what I'm going to do. There were four of us that got tight in the care unit. We're going to be each other's support system. Yeah, they talk about that AA and the rest of that, but we care about each other. We've formed this lifetime bond in these 2 or 3 weeks we've been together. We were sincerely thinking we were on fire for what it looks like in a treatment program, and I really did like this idea of getting back on my feet. I would like to say. So it appealed to me. And that's what I did. When I got out after 28 days, I started going to this meeting at 9604 South Figueroa occasionally, that my counselor had recommended. He said, Ralph, you should go to a meeting near your neighborhood. And I was like, but I was still going across town every morning, you guys, to the 7 a.m. meeting at the log cabin, way on the other side of town from me. And that started waning, right? At first, that was cool, but getting up at 6 in the morning to make that 7 a.m. meeting, it started being a bit much. And I would go to 96 occasionally, and I would go late and I would leave early. And some people would give me their phone numbers. Remember, my program is we're going to be a support system for each other. So I stay in touch with my people from the care unit, but that started waning too. So I go to 96, and there was this guy there named Orlando. And Orlando was a gay guy. Orlando was a 12-step champion. I don't know that. I don't know what a 12 stepper looks like. I don't know what service looks like. I don't know altruistic movement. I don't know something for nothing. I don't know any of that. I know tit for tat. You do something for me, I do something for you. I know game, I know all that. But so Orlando didn't want nothing from me, but he pushes his phone number on me. I knew later he was the guy that was always looking out for newcomers, but he's this gay guy, and I thought he wants me. I'm raggedy, my waistline about a size 20. So he wants me. So I'm not, yeah, okay, miss me with that. And then this guy named Cleo, who was kind of an old timer, Cleo kept panels, and Cleo was on me. And I'm thinking, and he was talking about, when you get enough time, I want you to go out on a panel. I'm thinking, somebody finally recognized me. They want me to go out speaking. Right. So anyway, I do that. And so I'm going to meetings, you guys. I'm listening. I'm going late, leaving early, and the rest. I'm going sporadically. I'm not going religiously. Sometimes when we do a message, remember, I'm handicapped. I say it all the time by a couple of things. I think a couple of other people share my handicap, and that is this: that if it ain't my experience, you lying about it being yours. And I think my experience is the experience. So a lot of times when I get into my deal, and I be thinking, well, I was going to meetings religiously and religiously and religious, and I never heard nothing. And so meeting makers don't make it because I need to be, well, that is a person's experience. But what the what that person is missing, I think, and I shouldn't be speaking on other people, I apologize, but I'm speaking to my experience, is I think more people rather than less have a problem going to meetings, period. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't going. So I'm the one that needed to be encouraged, meeting makers, because I was a sporadic guy. And in my experience, that's most people. I'm thinking if I hit two or three, man, I didn't hit my quota, and I'm new. I'm in a spot every night. I needed to be counteracting that with Alcoholics Anonymous every day. Didn't know it, didn't see it. So I'm dropping in. And on day 89, and I think I'm pursuing this thing because I ain't touched nothing in 89 days. Uh, I'm going, I'm leaving the meeting, going back to my mom's house. My brothers were there, and they would be smoking weed and drinking Michelobes and doing other. And I remember going to my aftercare program at the care unit, and I would report to this counselor, Cal. I said, I was with my brothers, and they got high. I didn't tell him. I rolled up a joint for them, and I used to watch them transform. And I used to like that. I was vicariously getting loaded through them. I didn't know it. And so I went back and I told Cal, I was with my brothers and they were getting loaded and I didn't get loaded. I'm getting stronger. And he looked at me and said, dude, you're getting closer. Didn't know it. So on day 89, I'm out at this club with this girl who was a friend of mine, my older brother's ex. I had known her before, and we were just out together. She was happy for me. I had put some weight on, and so we just out, and she's dancing with a guy on the floor, and she had left her Long Island on the table with me. So I'm looking at the Long Island and it's looking back at me. And I said, I can sip this Long Island because our first step is admitted I'm powerless over alcohol and my life has become unmanageable. And I have been admitting that for 89 days now. I've been admitting it with my mouth. That is step one. Admitted that I'm powerless over alcohol and my life has become unmanageable. Two things. One, I admitted it because it's the price of admission to talk at a meeting. And I like talking at a meeting sometimes. Other times I'm terrified. And it ebbs and flows when I was in those first days. If I was at a spot like in the treatment center or with other people who had 30 days and I got 60, I like talking. If I'm in 9604 with them people that really knew what was going on, I'm terrified. Don't get me up there. But anyway, okay, I admitted it. And the second piece is at 9604, if you got up and said, my name is Ralph, and heaven forbid, just started talking, or if you said, my name is Ralph and I'm an addict, are you alcoholic? People would jump and do the intimidate, bully, share, and think well intentioned, and they didn't know. They'd be newer people mimicking what they saw other people do, and oh, okay, yeah, I'm out. And so have that kind of thing going on, bullied into this out of my mouth. So anyway, I'm on day 89 and I sip this Long Island and I drink the Long Island and I put my hand on my pocket. I tell Dale, take me home. And I get home, I go around the corner, Ronnie's at this spot, and we sit up and I stay out 11 months, you guys. And I got a firm understanding of my condition. I got a deep understanding of my condition, that I'm a real alcoholic of the hopeless variety. I'm the alcoholic that when I put one in me, I can't control when I'm going to stop. Now, I used to think when I would think about that, that it meant that when I put one in me, every single time this phenomenon of craving would show up, and every single time I put it in me, I cannot stop. That's not what it means. What it means is I cannot control the amount I'm going to take. And it doesn't mean that sometimes when I would be at work and we would be at lunch and we go stop off, I might have one and then I rush back to work. Now it might be on me and I couldn't wait to get off work. So that's how I would get it confused. I would think every single, ooh, no, 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 no. But when I take one, my experience showed me I'm an alcoholic. What we could describe, this is described in our chapter there is a solution as the real alcoholic. When I take one, I cannot control the amount that I'm taking. I got that confused because I never used to think I wanted to control the amount I take. I get down like that. I'm one of the ones that when the cap come off, I didn't know caps went back on bottle. I didn't know bottles came with caps till I came to Alcoholics Anonymous. We doing it till it's gone, and so I got a real understanding and I've really found out what it is. I conceded to my innermost self, dude, you got this thing. This is the first step in recovery. So there's a step that comes before step one, Andrew, and that step is fully conceding. So now you with a double heart attack, sir, maybe, just maybe, you have what I have. Now, I can't tell you, but I'll tell you what I have, and you can think to yourself, sounds like me, and so I fully conceded. No more discussion about it. No more, well, maybe, just maybe, because I'm one of the ones, and my story is mine. I listened to another lady the other day, and pure alcohol, pure bread, but I'm one of the ones, I grew up in the 70s and the 60s, and I did a whole lot of stuff. I smoked weed, I snorted cocaine, I smoked hash oil, I ate mushroom. So I did a bunch of stuff. And if you do a bunch of stuff the way I do it, sometimes it will obscure the seriousness of my alcoholism. One of the reasons you will always hear me identify as alcoholic is if there's any area where I'm likely to go into denial, it'll be around my alcoholism. And so that experience really put it firmly in place for me. Our book talks about if you're going to do this deal, Ralph, you can have no reservations and no lurking notions. One of my reservations in 1985, when I first got sober, was if I get sober, I'll be able to sell dope. I know nobody in here ever had a reservation like that. And I know you're surprised. What this ain't? But yeah, that used to be one of my reservations because well, and then of course many of buck monkeys don't sell bananas. But anyway, I didn't know that used to be one of my reservations. And so that got I. There are two kinds of experience, at least in my mind, and it's probably way more than two. But for the purposes of our discussion, I'm gonna talk about two. And uh, some of my sponsors on here, they know what I'm gonna say. It's mature people, you know, uh, can get taught experience. And taught experience, Jazz, is if somebody shares, like I'm sharing, and somebody else can listen and they might be newer, and they'll say, oh, I don't have to go down that road. Ralph already drank that Long Island for me. I don't have to sit in a club and drink a Long Island. I get it. Oh my God. I was thinking to myself, I might not be alcohol. That's taught experience. You can learn it from somebody else. The other kind of experience, at least for me, is bought experience. I'm the kind of guy that most of the time I got to buy mine. I got to get bought experience. I can hear somebody else talk about what'll happen if you live in dirty trying to be clean over here. I can hear another man talk about all money ain't good money, but I gotta go around there and try it for myself. I can hear somebody else talk about I got busted, I lost the marriage, this did happen. I gotta sit up here. I gotta step out on my wife anyway. I gotta get my own experience of getting busted I gotta have, I'm that guy, right? I'm the bought experience guy. The bought experience guy, there are some benefits of it, not at the time. And usually the benefits of it are for other people. The bought experience guy is a guy like me. I have a lot in my repertoire when it comes to sponsoring because I've been raggedy a lot. That's the benefit of bought experience. It pretty much, and uh, so I bought that and I came back, you guys, with a firm understanding of my condition. But it took 11 months. And when I came back, my behind was in tatters. October the 11th, 1986. And I came in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and this time I came back with something that I couldn't give myself. And I talk about that gift of surrender. A lot of times, I used to think to myself, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I did this and I just tired of looking at my baby's eyes and the rest of it. Gift of surrender. It was just gifted to me. I didn't know it was coming. That's the amazing thing about this process of ours and this program of ours. On the day of your surrender, on your due date, on your day of expiration in that old life, you don't know it's expiring. You just going through the day. Brother, you ain't whistling, your head is probably down, and it's another one of those gray, dreary days. It's another one of those days that look like every other day in front of it. Now, the circumstance of that might look different. Some people might be at a job with a briefcase. Some people might be driving along. Some people, like me, might be doing the aimless walk, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Some people, like me, might occasionally be stumbling up out the motel, birds singing. You want to shoot them, you know, and you don't even know. This is another day in a long line of days that look just like that. And you have no idea you getting ready to take a step out the dark into the light. That to me is amazing. That, and in the blink of an eye, now it's not in the blink of an eye, because when you going in them first 30 days, 60 days, it seems like a lot, it seems slow. But when you sit back and you look back, you realize that day I was in the life. And this day I was in life. I was in the life. And I'm leaving and I'm coming into a brand new world. But you only see it in hindsight, right? You don't see it when you're walking into it. You don't see it coming. And it is amazing to look back. Uh, it's wow. You can't write it. And when you're in it, it's a lot of bumps. You know, I had that first step experience, and thank God I bought that Long Island that night. So it was firmly implanted in me. And I didn't have to go deep. When I was a year in the sobriety, I started going through the book with some people, line by line, page by page, and started getting some in-depth stuff. But thank God I didn't need in-depth to make it that long. I only needed a rudimentary understanding. I didn't even need an understanding of the first step as much as the experience of the first step in order to get in here and get a start. And I had that. The gorilla had told your boy a new one. And just on enough of that basis, I'm what I described, as the last gasper. It was it for me. I had done a lot. I had achieved some things. I had some things. I had suffered a lot of consequences. Most of us know consequences don't necessarily define, alcoholism. And it's not necessarily a requirement for getting here, but it helps. And I had some serious ones. I lost my family, lost my job, lost the ability to go to work, lost my self-respect, lost the power of choice over whether or not I'd be chasing it when the sun came up. And I had stopped caring about it. That scared me more than all the rest of the stuff combined when I stopped caring. I'm like this and I'm just going to be like this. Surrender to the fact, not surrender to sobriety, surrender to the fact that I'm going to be getting old. My friend Josie says I had quit quitting. I no longer even thought I'm not doing this shit no more. I know I am doing this. That's what I do. That's who I am. And so I was surrendered. Uh, Life unmanageable, no driver's license, no ID, no place to stay, no job, no knowledge of where his family was living, not welcome anywhere. Yeah, life is pretty much unmanageable, you guys. $80,000 debt to the IRS, hole so deep, but it didn't even seem like I needed to think about coming out of it. And the good news about surrender, the good news about that is somehow, some way, for me, I had to go up in a spot, and all those problems that piled up on me and seemed, as the book describes, astonishingly difficult to solve, for some reason, I put them on hold and I made the main thing the main thing. All I thought about was I just want to be, so if my old lady don't come back, and I don't know if I was saying I just want to be sober as much as I was saying I just don't want to dance with the gorilla no more. I'm done. Take me off the dance floor. I'm cashing my chips in. I'm done. I can't do this. I cannot do this. I didn't know what recovery looked like. I didn't know what sobriety tasted like. I didn't know. You guys made it attractive and you made it appealing. But the initial impetus for me was, I don't want to do this no more. I really felt, and it started feeling so damn good to wake up every day in a bed. I'm not now. We got various levels of people that come in. So I'm giving you Ralph's story. It was people that come in that probably had a big bed already. Still were going to work. Still, my story is it felt good to be in a bed that was mine every day. It felt good to be regularly being taking care of your hygiene. It felt good to not regularly be getting visited by the enemy at night. Your conscience come visiting late at night. What happened to you? You used to want to be somebody. What happened to you? You used to go to work in the morning. It just started feeling so good, you guys, to welcome the day instead of dreading the light. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about because I'm one of them. I'm a night crawler. I'm one of those guys, and I used to like it at night, and so I started kind of liking it. Got introduced to you. Think it's critical. Think we do a disservice when we minimize our meetings. Huge, huge, huge. Because so much more goes on than just information. I'm getting re-socialized. I'm an outcast. I'm a streetwalker, and I don't mean a hooker. I'm just one of them guys doing the aimless walk. You know, I'm not in civilized society anymore. I'm in the life. I'm in the places where if you turn your back, you're liable to get beat or burned. And I'm not built like that, but I'm built like that. You know, I've descended into that world so long that I needed to be, acculturated again. And you did it. You did it. You brought me back into the world of the living. I didn't know it. There were a lot of things that took place at our meetings I didn't know. I needed the discipline of showing up somewhere. What? I had not been doing that. You prepped me for going back to work by going to meetings. You prepped me for being able to show up somewhere consistently. You prepped me for being able to now, interact with people again. I had been interacting with the streets, interacting with those sordid places, interacting on a level. I didn't even know how deep it was in me, you guys. I didn't know I was as addicted to the lifestyle as I was to the drugs and alcohol. I did not realize that. I was at a marathon in my first year. In LA, we have marathons at every holiday. And our marathons, because we have a lot of clubhouses, We're not in churches where they'll put you out or anything. And I was a clubhouse guy. My home group 9604 South Road is a clubhouse, right? And so our marathons literally would go from that Friday through that Sunday nonstop. Don't cut off at 2 in the morning, three. They would go nonstop. If the holiday was Thursday, we might go through Thursday to Sunday, nonstop. And I was stumped. I came up out of a marathon. Oh my God, on those holidays, you guys, when I was new. And some people would get sad around holidays. It will remind them that their family wasn't taking them back yet or they didn't have anywhere to go. And that wasn't my case. But, marathons and holidays still meant, you know, um, getting loaded time. The holidays always would represent that. And so I'm sitting in these marathons and I used to sit in a marathon, man, all night. And I came out of a marathon, never forget it. It was 6 in the morning. I had been there. And I had this reaction. My body reacted and my mind, and I was tripping. I was like, this sadness descended on me and the rest because I was like, damn, daylight then caught you again because I I didn't know my body reacted to coming out in daylight, coming up out of some place and entering into the daylight. It was like a body reaction, like I'm coming out of a spot. And I had to remind myself in the car, you just left a meeting. Everything is perfect and in order. You are putting your life back together. It was the most eerie feeling I had ever had, you guys. So I had to, um, I had to come out of the lifestyle meetings. Meetings. You guys would say something like some spiritual stuff and me get in the car. We would be at a meeting. We used to go to eat at the steakhouse, and the steakhouse was a few blocks from the club. And our meetings would go 8:30 to 10, and then we go to the steakhouse and be there till 12 midnight, 1 in the morning. And a guy early on when they used to go, when I had started coming and being a regular, right, and some people who seemed like they were really old timers. They had a year, 2 years. And that's who the 30, 60, 90-day people, the 6 month, that's who you really look up to. The old timers, they over there. That's like the grown-ups, and I'm at the kid table, right? That's who, they knew me and but I knew them more than they knew me. I knew everybody, but the 3 year, 5 year, those guys, those were like the ones mentoring them. And I remember this guy, Roy, and he'd say, Ralph, you want to go to the steakhouse? And I want to go bad, but I ain't got no money. And fear would just come over me, right? Because I know what's going to happen. Number one, I'm going to have to go up in there and I'm going to have to sit. And I'm awkward and uncomfortable. I don't have conversation. It's gonna be, I'm new, they gonna be sitting here and so this fear comes up. Nah, man, I don't want to go stomach grumbling, and nah, I'm cool. I don't want to go. And uh and this other fear really was the one. Because I know what was gonna have to happen at the end of the night, Andrew. They're gonna come with that check and everybody's gonna go in their pocket and have to throw in. And I ain't got no money. And I'm gonna be embarrassed. And that is one of the things that still dominates me more than anything else to this day. What I think you think about me. And I got this big shot itis too. Like everybody don't know, I'm ass out. I'm new. I don't have nothing. But you guys have been me. That's what I don't know. That's the secret in Alcoholics Anonymous that a newcomer don't know. They don't know that we've been new, that we've been in those seats. And Roy knew. Roy knew. And he was seemed like he read my mind. He said, man, Ralph, come on. When we get there, order whatever you want. I got you. And he didn't wait till I got to the steakhouse so he could be the big shot and show that he's taking He's got the newcomer. He saved me my dignity. And when I do these trips down memory lane about my early sobriety, I can't help but be overwhelmed. Because it seems to me that Alcoholics Anonymous has said that to me consistently. I got you. I got you. My life came apart when I was 22 years sober. And I say that, and that's the shortcut version. I always say it. And clearly, there's some color behind the story. And the color is, decisions made based on self later put me in position to be hurt. Lost a 20-year marriage. Yeah, well, some infidelity will help that. Yeah, some financial mismanagement will help that along. Yeah, some bad decisions. And then life. It was when the market and everything. I'm in real estate, and that crashed, and and I had been living above my means, and bought a house way above my means, but I was in position to do it, and a lot of decisions based on self. But at any rate, life came crashing. Right, life came crashing that year. 22 years sober, and but I got trained feet. You guys. And there are some things that I've learned. That was my third major valley. I'm here to report that was my last major valley. I've been in some valleys since then, but that was my last major valley. But I'm glad that my feet have been trained. You know, Ninka, we're glad that you're here with us from Amsterdam. And I'm going to share with you what training your feet looks like. And we want to train our feet because we don't know what life is going to be like. When I did my third step, I said, God, I offer myself to you to build with me and to do with me as you will. So do something with me. Do something with me. I suffer from an illness that only a spiritual experience will conquer. And so I need the spiritual experience. I need the spiritual condition. I need this because, I got a condition. Everything has a condition. I told you guys I do real estate. So some stuff, you know, uh, it's when you sell a house and it's pristine and it's prime and it's ready to go, we call that turnkey. That's ooh, turnkey, move in right now. Then sometimes you have it, oh, I'm gonna sell as is. It's cool enough to come in right now. You take it the way that it is, route as is condition. That still wasn't good enough. Then sometimes you call it, fixer upper. You're ready to spend some money, need some work. Sometimes we do that in relationships. He'll fix her upper. She'll fix her. I can work with you. Okay. Good luck. Same thing about buying one of them out. You don't know how much you're going to have to put in, and you don't know what you're going to get out on the back end. But good luck. Fix her upper. And then you got to tear down. Uninhabitable. That was me in October of 1986. I'm uninhabitable. No windows, no walls, no foundation, no wind blowing through the roof of my life. Nothing. Can't nothing come up in here and live here. Uninhabitable. The good news about this power, though, and the good news about grace, it comes through the cracks. It blows through and it settles in the uninhabitable places. Folk like me and you. And I gave myself to this power. Do something with me. I can't. I know that you, and I'm not an architect. I'm not a builder. I'm not none of that. I'm gonna just give it to you. I don't know what it's gonna look like. but it ain't gonna look like what it is. And what it look like right now is uninhabitable. Do something with me. And he did. And the back end of that third step, I said, take away my difficulties, the victory over them. So when things come my way, when you take me through them, me and my sponsees are reading this book, A New Pair of Glasses, right now. And in A New Pair of Glasses, when you go into prayer meditation, Chuck C talks about having an expectancy. Not that things are going to come out my way or any of that, an expectancy that I will get I won't get whatever it is I'm supposed to get from this power. He calls it his guidance or his wisdom. I have an expectancy. I don't know how it's going to be, but I have an expectancy, Andrew. And when I get to the other side of whatever it is that's in front of me, this 20-year marriage disintegrating, this IRS coming after me for the 80,000, this loss of my house, this feeling of being a failure as a dad when my daughter had to go live with her godparents, all that stuff. When you come through the other side of it, Ralph, when I did my third step, I made a promise. I promise I'll let them know it was you. And through every single thing that I've been brought through, I need to let you guys know it's been this power. And he's brought me through a lot. Grew up in religion, and they talked about Daniel in the lion's den and Jonah in the whale's belly and Moses parting the Red Sea. And I thought those were just stories, fables, myths. Might as well be talking about Jack and the Beanstalk, like my friend Steve says. Daniel in the lion's den. I didn't know. That's the language of spirituality. It's storytelling. Not necessarily meant to be taken literally, but if you look at what the story says, I had lions nipping at my heels that year of, that 22nd year of sobriety. They were coming at your boy. What's wrong with you? You're stupid. How you lose a house? I understood when you didn't have nothing when you were brand new. You lost that from drinking and using. You're 22 years sober. How you lose a marriage? The lions were nipping. And I'm here to tell you, he brought me through the line. He took me out the lion's den. How you gonna get to the other side of this situation? 80,000 in debt, nowhere to stay, no friendly direction. How you gonna come through that? I'm here to tell you, he parted that Red Sea and he took me to the other side when I didn't see no way to the other side. And I'm here to tell you, through everything that's ever happened to me, when it comes my way and it rains real hard, I run in. I lean in Alcoholics Anonymous. I lean in. I lean in. That's my default setting. My feet have been trained. How did they start getting trained? I started going to meetings when I didn't know why I was going to meetings. That's the power. Don't discount them. I never talk about that. They are foundational for when the storm comes. Yeah, Ralph, you done inventory. Yeah, you've looked at yourself. Yeah, you've done a lot of self-revealing accounts. Yeah, you got transparent because you've done that. Yeah, you've been sponsored and you steadily just, yeah, you got on your knees and you did the third step and you put your hand in the hand of this power. Yes, absolutely. All that, but I never left you guys. You know, I never, there is something so comforting. And so I leaned into Alcoholics Anonymous that particular year. And I had already been out sharing all over the place, doing a big book workshop every Sunday that I still never missed. I had done all of that foundationally, but the fellowship carried me for a year and a half. When I could not walk, they walked me. When I could not look up, they lifted me. And so in that year, so I did the foot training. I went to meetings. I went to meetings. I went to meetings. I had a home group. I had a home group where everybody knew my name. I had a home group where I had commitments. I took commitments. There are default settings that work for me when I can't work for myself. And so when you have a default setting, you know, uh, but if the alcoholic fails to enlarge and perfect his spiritual life through self-sacrifice and working with others, he won't be able to survive certain trials and low spots. Well, what is this self-sacrifice and working with others? It's a good thing that when I need to call on this power or when I'm already connected. And it's a good thing that when I need to find somebody to work with, I'm already doing it. And so, another thing that I put in there that is critical to this whole training your feet sponsor. So I had Bob Hunt was my sponsor for 13 years. Not the man that took me through the big book. He was my big book. He was my big book. Back at that time, there were lots of times that people were. These days, we are a lot more connected to our sponsor walking us through the stuff to the. But my sponsor at that time, Bob Hunt, was my big book. I went through the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous with the two other members later on who took us through in my workshop. But this guy right here, oh my God, he cared about your boy. For all you guys that sponsor, we going in the area right now, Ralph's experience/opinions. And I'm not giving advice, just talking about opinion. For me, and I'm not, and we have so many different sponsorship styles. You know why? Because we got so many different alcoholics. So, and there ain't no one size fit. So don't be commenting on how somebody else sponsor. I never do that, because how they sponsor, they built for whoever it is they're attractive to. And there are people who are attracted to people who, you know, uh, you know, do this. If you don't do this, I'm not going to work with you. And I respect that. Sometimes I wish I was like that, but I sponsor inside my personality. And inside my personality, you guys, I lead with my heart. I don't lead with my head. Some people will say, damn, dude, you don't lead. I probably should, you don't lead with the book and the stuff. I lead with my heart. I have learned that if you care, it erases a lot of mistakes. Now, I don't say I don't have all the rest. I have a ready foot to put on your, I have all that. And we got a vast work. I love, 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 love going through our little, I love going through all that, everything that's at my disposal. But for me, uh, I like to think if you were to ask somebody that I work with, what are some of the defining features? I like to think one of them is he don't judge me. I like to think one of them is I ain't gotta hide. I like to think that one of them is I know he got my back. And having your back don't mean agreeing, don't mean co-signing, just mean caring. Because that's what's been done for me. My current sponsor, Bob B, out of St. Paul, Minnesota, when I got him, I first, oh, we were, oh my God. Ah, I can't even talk about Bob now, but he's got the biggest heart of anybody I know. You know, um, we just run out of time. I think y'all be robbing my time for me, because every time I look up, it was 20 minutes. Anyway, so as a result of coming here and having my feet put on a path to really go somewhere, it's four of us. I got three brothers to sober. Uh, so we got a sober household. Uh, I got two of the most amazing daughters anybody could ever hope for, and they're daddy's girls. Um, Got a son. He's 43 years old. No, Rain's 41. Spotty's 45. My stepson, my son. Now, I got a daughter that's never seen her daddy loading one day at a time, never will. I got amazing grandkids, you guys. Oh my God. If I knew they were so cool, I'd have had them first. You know, my mom is in the next room. She's 94 years old. Amazing story of redemption with me and her. I got a mate that is built for me. Uh, uh, she's fire, and she is on fire for this thing. And I learned a lot in just our interaction. Uh, and I got some sponsees that's on here, and I got some sponsees that push me, that grow me, and I got a host of friends, and I got you guys. And I want to thank you, Glenn, for letting me take this retrospective. I don't know if it helped anybody else, but I like walking down memory lane a little bit with you guys. And I want to thank you for my life. And I want to thank you for 38 years of walking on the sunny side of the street. My name is Ralph White. I am an alcoholic.